This is a story about a fellow from Kalispell, Montana. And I had to go down to Kalispell a few times when I moved to the prairies. My girlfriend and her folks. And her dad's like really into old car parts and things like that, so I'd have to follow him around to all these old junk stores, and I was trying to get in with him, and I'd have to pretend I was into, you know, fucking lawnmower parts and what have you, and turned out that I got a song out of the whole experience. This is George's Blues. George, he worked in the tool shack on the other side of town, fixing carburetors and laying old junk cars down. Said he never married but a daughter that he had. She went to school in Missoula, never saw much of her dad. Said her name was Sarah Jane with blue eyes like the sea. She's about as beautiful can be. And there's a light that shines at the end of the tunnel for good old boys and old bar drunks like me. When the light gets bright, we're coming to the end, boy. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me. Georgie just kept collecting parts, put his money away. When the Walmart opened up their doors, he didn't have too much to say. He said freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. The only freedom folks around here got come from handguns and cheap booze. And there's a light that shines at the end of the tunnel for good old boys and old bar drunks like me. When the light gets bright, we're coming to the end, boys. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me. Georgie never hurt no one, all he did was try to say. Some kids come in looking for a stash and they put him in his grave. And they tied him to a rocking chair and they beat him black and blue. He never gave him nothing and all his junk became brand new. And in between the blood and the grease, an angel he did rise. He said he never fell from grace but into her blue eyes. And there's a light that shines at the end of the tunnel for good old boys and old bar drunks like me. When the light gets bright, we're coming to the end, boy. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me. Save a prayer for old Junk George and me.